Okay, the last part of dealing with this, and what I kind of don't like, is to get this lower stock off to look at the receiver net. There's a screw, goes in here, so you take your Phillips screwdriver and pull that screw out. It shows you in the manual where it goes, right in there. And then this butt plate comes off, it hinges, and you would look down there. I'm going to do that here with a flashlight just to see. Alright, so when I look down into that tube, you can't see it. There is a plate and a hex head bolt. Now all of these shotguns have a little hex head bolt in there, and if you go to this GForce website and look under tools and accessory, they sell you need, I think, the 13mm on an extension for a socket wrench to get down in there and get that. And on the other shotguns, it's a 6mm, but it's just a 14-inch long Allen with a T-handle. And that is what you would use to remove the stocks. Now, you might say, hey, okay, I don't need to remove the stocks. It's kind of critical on the ARs to get into the trigger group and mechanism to pull this off. I'm glad I ordered it because I was thinking I didn't need it, but I said get it anyway, and both of them together is about $35 or something, and it is cheaper than going to Amazon. I was going to try to buy them on Amazon. The wrench itself is less money, but the shipping is way the hell higher. You know, it's like the shipping is almost the same amount or more than what they were charging you for the wrench. So best go to GForce, buy those tools. You know, if you got an AR, just that one. If you got one of the other Turkish shotguns that need the 6mm, buy it. It's the least expensive. Now this thing is all full. This is like full of grit and grime and oil. I mean, this is bad. I mean, this stuff is running off of my fingers. If you took this gun out and shot that with that, and it's grimy too, all through here, the heat of the cartridges would gum this up. So this has got to be cleaned big time. Now that guy that the top separated is that nut, and a lot of people that fire these guns say the stock gets loose, creates a problem. It's the bolts in the back of the receivers. You need those special tools. Yeah, this thing here, my God. There's grime. There's all kinds of dirt and grime and crap. I know it's up into where the gas is. They must have test fired this at the factory and never cleaned it. Okay, you see a lot of that. It's critically important that you clean these guns out. Okay. And I'm very sorry for the half-assed disassemblies. First time I did it, thing threw me a few curveballs while I was in there doing it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and flush all of this out. The bolt also is kind of sticky functioning. I'm going to give everything a bath and carburetor cleaner, wipe it down, put some light lubricant on everything, and then get this ready, and hopefully this week we'll be out trying these things out on the range. Alright, there are no reassembly instructions in the manual. And also when this whole apparatus came apart, so we got the carrier, and then this thing with the spring locks in there like that. That goes like one piece. Then the bolt has to go on top of this here. And it's locked, it's open like this. Okay, so you want that down. Now, extremely important, remember this lever here has that feed ramp or whatever that thing is down. Now this is where it's going to get tricky, because you got to try to slide this whole damn thing in one piece. So let me see if I can get it here. Yeah, this assembly, disassembly video is a little screwed up, but if you guys need further instructions or help, once I get this thing apart several times, I will try to make a better video. So we have that whole assembly, and we're sliding it into the receiver. Sorry, my hand is. Okay, so slide it in. That spring is gonna go down. Now I don't have the instructions telling me to do this, but I'm gonna slide this sucker all the way back and lock it open. Okay? And be careful, because if you trip this, it's going to slam and it could break something. So we got our barrel all cleaned out. It was grimy. And we got this gas plug or whatever. We're going to slip this back into the barrel. And then what I'm going to try to do is get the barrel locked in there. And be careful. Alright, so we're going to have to go back to the drawing board with this once again. This is not lining up. Alright. Okay, after examining this, and it doesn't give you any reassembly instructions, it appears that this barrel will not fit unless this is forward and it gets down inside there. So what I'm going to do, and again, be very careful, is I'm going to push this lever up and get the feed ramp up into position. Grasp this here, release, and do not let it fly forward at full speed. Just go easy, so not as to break that feed ramp. Okay? So now that we have that there, we're going to put our bushing back in the barrel. Alright? And hopefully, yes, now we're able. We have to get the barrel lug down below that. Now we're able to get the barrel somewhat in. But now we have an issue with the bolt moving about. So what we're going to do now also is set, and again, this one you have to set it back a little other than the lock position. Put the bolt down, and I'm going to take the op handle. Okay, that's snapped in easy enough. This stabilizes the bolt. Okay, just pushing the op handle back in there and locking it in stabilizes the bolt. And you got something to grasp it with. So, you get the barrel in there, and then while pulling this back, we start sliding the barrel up to where it has to go. And now that we have it down, maybe we can, there we go. Barrel in place. Loose, but in place. So, now, let's do this. Pull this back and hold it open. Okay, and again, be careful. You don't want that thing to go slamming forward. Now we have to take this piece here, and remember, screwing it on. He double threads. Screw it on there. Down. Make sure them little holes are in there because they got to catch the detent. Yeah. Saved by the bell. That's in there. And that's what you got to watch out for. You want to hand tighten that right there. Okay, that gets our system back in. And now basically what we want to do, you put the little rubber thing back on the handle again. We don't have to pull that back. So this is locked in there. So now it's locking the handguard in. So we take the handguard and this whole apparatus slides in there and then locks in to your upper receiver. Then we need our plug with the little half moon and this. And this thing slides over there, drops down into the handguard like that. Then the cap you screw in. Tighten that down. Sling thing gets in the way. Alright. Now we got it somewhat tight. It is a little loose no matter what. And then all that is left, clear this stuff out of the way, is our BS fake shroud, barrel shroud or whatever. Alright, let me give that a crank. Alright, let's see what we have. Alright, now that I have this cleaned, I'm going to have to edit this video something fierce because I did a few things the wrong way. Now that I have this clean, out of the 3 guns, this was the worst in terms of the oil, grit, and grime inside there. If you went and took this out of the box and started shooting it just right from the get-go without cleaning it, you probably would have problems and malfunctions just because of the crap in there. This is also the most difficult one to take apart. The instructions are somewhat clear, but you know, the technique, you know, like you have to have that bolt forward and not smash that plastic feed thing in there. And I had to push it down to get the bolt out after we took the operating handle out. And I don't like the fact you need a specialized tool to get it apart and look at the lower receiver where that feed ramp thing is and everything. And you know, trying to show you guys how to do it was dangerous because with that AR style bolt release, if I laid it flat like I did, fortunately I had that nut almost down when it did that. You could damage this gun by just taking it apart to clean it. Okay, so that's kind of a negative side of this. But I got it. And you know, all of these guns, anything you break in here, there are no spare parts available. I don't care. I've looked. There are no. If you break that ramp, the gun will not function correctly, and there is no spare parts available anywhere. I don't believe. So we're going to have a another video discussing what we're going to shoot and how we're going to test these. Even though this is an interesting gun, I got a $550 gun for about 200 bucks. There's a lot of stuff you got to buy. If you put a drum in this, that's another $100. Okay, I got it clean, and so what we're going to do now is we're going to start testing them. I'm going to make another video discussing these guns before we test them and talking about how I'm going to test them and what type of ammo I'm going to use in them, and a little bit about these weapons in general and what I've been hearing from my subscribers. Alright, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.